Alright, hey guys, so the purpose of this video is just to give a short gist about Native American enslavement. So starting with the beginnings of European colonialism. By discovering North America and the West Indies, explorer Christopher Columbus opened up new opportunity for land for Europeans overall. As more Europeans settled in America, there were more battles and wars between them and Indian tribes. Now the reason I'm telling you about this is because understanding like this short brief history about European colonialism is going to connect to how Native Americans became enslaved. And so Europeans and Indians, as many people know, they were never connecting and they always had tension. Fighting often took place between these two groups as a result of quarrels and arguments. Because of the modern weapons possessed by the Europeans, Indian tribes frequently lost battles against them, leading into slavery. Now, this is important because you're going to understand how Indians were enslaved in the first place. So, war captives often became enslaved. As a result, Europeans would force them into harsh labor. Now, traditionally, in most battles, many militaries will just take their war captives and execute them. But what Europeans did would they would actually take their war captives and force them into harsh labor. This kind of started the trend of slavery worldwide. Also, many Indian tribes participated in ritual sacrifices in which they would give up large numbers of Indians to European slaveholders. Indians also became enslaved because of the European slave trade. So these are the three main reasons how Indians became enslaved in the first place. I think the most prominent reason, though, would be the war captives because of the numerous battles between Indians and Europeans. I just want to highlight the difference between Indian and African slavery. So the first 100 years of European colonization was dominated by Indian enslavement. Many tactics used to enforce harsh labor onto Native Americans was later used and refined with African slaves, and approximately 15 million Indians were enslaved before the massive trend of African slaves. Now, there's a common misconception that Africans were the first and only culture group to be enslaved in America, and this is not true at all, because for the first 100 years, as I said before, Native Americans and other indigenous groups were enslaved by Europeans. So in this picture, if you look closely, you can see a white European settler, my bad guys, mistreating an Indian slave, and Native American slaves were often put up for auctions. Generally, Indians had to suffer dehumanizing conditions, including lack of food and clothing, and as a result, Europeans frequently punished their slaves through flogging or harsh beatings. So obviously, if you were Native American during this time, it was not a peaceful lifestyle. And lastly, I just want to wrap up this video by highlighting the importance of learning about Indian slaves. Historically, Indian slaves have been underrepresented in textbooks and other historical documents. People have been barely educated in this topic of history because of the large dominance of African enslavement. I believe our society should begin to understand the history of Native American slaves because of its contribution to the ideas of race, culture, and social dynamics within America. And even though Indians and Native American enslavement is something that most students and most people don't learn about, I believe learning about them will help Americans learn about how race and other social dynamics come together in America. Alright, thanks guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video.